All right, guys, today we're gonna be talking about the 3 mistakes I made when I first started lifting and why I've made more progress in the last 2 years than I did my first 4 years of lifting. So first things first, right? I was not following a set program. I would come in the gym following push-pull legs, rest. So first of all, I was lifting 6 days a week, right? With an insane amount of volume and an insane amount of, heavy, high intensity CNS taxing, squat, bench, deadlift sets. So I was absolutely destroying my body, first of all, not giving myself any recovery, doing push-pull legs back to back, 1 rest day. Terrible idea. Second, I would do my squat, bench, deadlift sets, and then I would just go kind of do whatever for accessories. I wasn't following a set program. I did different exercises every single week to week, so there was no type of progression. I wasn't training to failure. I wasn't chasing mechanical tension. I was just kind of getting a pump and doing 4 sets of 15 of just straight junk volume. What is junk volume? Junk volume is sets that aren't intentional, sets where you don't really get those last couple reps close to failure, where you're achieving a lot of mechanical tension. It's kind of sets where you're going light, you're not pushing yourself, and you're kind of just getting a pump, and not taking the set serious. So one thing that I switched to about 2 years ago, and I made the most gains I ever did, it was incredibly noticeable, is I started training to failure, and it made the gym a lot more fun. You push yourself a lot more, your sets are a lot more intense, right? So the reason we train to failure in rep ranges is because our muscles don't know reps. You don't just grow, your biceps don't know 10 bicep curls and they grow because you did 10. They grow because you're achieving the most mechanical tension on those reps closest to failure. So what is mechanical tension? Mechanical tension is the involuntary slowing of the concentric. So you guys know when you're bench pressing, when you're doing like an incline press, right? Those last couple reps before failure, they slow down their grinder reps, right? That's where you're stimulating the most mechanical tension, and mechanical tension coupled with intensity, pushing yourself, and progressive overload is how you get huge, how you build muscle. So progressive overload is key, and hopping on a set program where you're doing the same exercises on your set split week after week, because if you go in the gym and you do 185 on, an incline Smith for 6, the next week you can go for, 7 or 8 reps. And then once you get to the top of your rep range, say it's 8 to 10, then you go up in weight, right? You go to 195 and you try to get that for 6. And then once you get it for 10, then you go up to 205, right? So it just makes progressive overload so much faster. And when you're actually doing the same exercises over and over again, your motor unit pathways get used to, that machine. They get used to moving the weight in that way. That's why if you don't bench for a super long time, right, it feels shaky in your hands. Your CNS isn't used to lowering that weight. It's not used to that movement. So you want to repeat the same exact movements over and over again. Unfortunately, bodybuilding is boring. Being a good bodybuilder, you do the same things, the same diet over and over again. You just do it better every single week. So another thing, overtraining, right? I was taking 1 rest day a week. I was playing sports in high school, having a lot of expenditure, a lot of steps, a lot of running. My body was toast. I was not able to recover and able to cause muscle growth in my body at all because I wasn't taking enough rest. So unfortunately, muscle doesn't grow in the gym, All you're doing is stimulating muscle growth in the gym. So you train hard, but you do the most you can recover from. The key for the volume for you is doing the most amount of volume in the most amount of sets that you can recover from and progress. And how do you know if you're recovering? Well, you look in the mirror. Are you getting bigger? Are you progressing in strength? Are you progressing physique-wise? If everything looks good and you're constantly, gaining strength week after week, you're probably in a good spot. But if you've plateaued for a little bit, it might not be that you're not doing enough. It might be that you're doing too much, actually. And so with overtraining, right, obviously I had a split that gave me 1 rest day, but also it was very taxing because I was squat, bench, deadlifting, which are super taxing on your body, super demanding. And then I was going and doing all these sets of junk volume for accessories. You just 4 sets of 15, destroying my muscles, causing a lot of fatigue, and inflammation without even good stimulating sets, where I was taking heavy weight to failure with proper form, right? So another thing is form is key, right? Execution and intensity is key. So yes, we don't want to do junk volume. I would probably limit your sets between 2 to 3 sets, depending on the exercise, depending on your split. Everything is obviously depending on how many days a week you're in the gym. But with your limited 2 sets, you've got to obviously couple intensity with good form, and that is key, right? You see a lot of these guys going super heavy and they don't have good form. What's the point of having an intentional all-out set if you're not even hitting the muscles you're trying to hit? And number 3, huge sleeper tip. A lot of coaches won't tell you this, a lot of coaches won't help you with your digestion, but number 3 is prioritizing your digestion. So this means not having too big of meals, right? Where you're just spiking your insulin, where you're distending your gut, where you're getting bloated, even if it's clean food, right? If you're slamming a ton of clean food at once, just the pure food volume, it's gonna bloat you, it's gonna be hard to digest, it's gonna make you tired, you're gonna crash, right? So typically you wanna split up your day, if you're a normal male, right, eating around, 2,500, 3,000 calories, whatever you're eating, even less. You wanna split it up into 5 meals. That means, you spike muscle protein synthesis at 5 different times throughout the day. Smaller meals are a lot easier to digest. You're hungry for your next meal. Just makes it a lot better. Another thing you can do, a 5 to 10 minute walk after eating will make all the difference to your digestion. Your hip flexors are actually tied to digestion. So when you go on a walk after a meal, it 100% helps it digest. It helps nutrient uptake. It helps carb utilization. So going on a digestion walk after a normal sized meal is something you can do to get more steps and also improve your digestion. And number 3, supplements. A morning gut health stack that you can take fasted will change the game. So something that's super beneficial for your gut is L-glutamine. And if you take it fasted with apple cider vinegar, aloe vera juice, organic lemon juice, electrolytes for flavor, and some fiber powder, fasted in the morning, that will change the game for your digestion. Bad GI health can cause depression. It can cause bad nutrient uptake. So the carbs and all the micronutrients you could be eating might not be used as beneficially if you are, someone that has a messed up gut, whether it's chronic inflammation in there, or you have leaky gut syndrome, or bad gut health could cause autoimmune diseases as well. So tap into that gut health stack if you really want to optimize digestion. Another thing you can do is take digestive enzymes with big meals as well. So prioritize your gut health. Gut health is the secret key to gains and overall feeling good. So those are my 3 mistakes that I made when I first started lifting, and changing those things allowed me to progress more in the last 2 years than I did my first 4 years of lifting in high school. Remember, gut health is key. Mechanical tension and intensity is key. And getting on a set program is key for progression. Train hard, have fun in the gym. If you want to support the channel, link for Peak Natty hoodies down below, and all my sponsors, code Gabe on Define, Raw Nutrition, and Flavor Gang to get the best cream of rice out there. Have a good one, guys.